Welcome to the Epcotian Adventure,
a podcast where we talk about all things Disney, but we're Epcot-centered.
including tips and tricks, festivals and favorites, and the very latest in our rankings and reviews.
But we're still old enough to remember when the bear wasn't even funny in 3D.
Oh, not you guys! How did you get here?
We entered a contest! Yeah! We lost!
This is episode 91, our season 2 finale. News and other Disney stuff.
Or, sometimes Disney really does listen.
So now, please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast as we embark on our Epcotian adventure. Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 91 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And this is our season 2 finale. I can't believe we're at the end of season 2 already.
I know. We just kind of decided that this should be the end because we are headed into the holidays. Next week, actually this week, while you're listening to this, is Thanksgiving already, which is just blowing my mind.
Yeah, and then Christmas, and then Walt Disney World, because, like you do. So
we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to start off season 3 with a bang, but first, let's bring up some amazing news from Walt Disney World.
Yeah, we don't usually cover news per se, just because we like our episodes to be repeatable. And by the time you listen to the news once, it's old news. And we like our episodes to be catch-upable, so that if you're behind a few episodes, you can still catch up and it's still relevant. But a couple of things happened recently that we just need to talk about.
Yeah, it's almost like Disney was listening. Hey,
yeah, I think
maybe
they specifically
do.
listened to episode 21, Disney, Are You Listening? And episode 80, where we changed the theme of some rides.
Like the rock and roller coaster.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's talk about this. The Muppets, everybody knew that their time was going to be, I don't want to say short, but, the speculation was that the new Monsters, Inc. roller coaster and area would go into where the Muppets were, or into where the animation courtyard is at Disney Hollywood Studios.
I was still holding up hope for that.
Yeah, that was my first thought too, but people pointed out that there's a lot of infrastructure already in place for the Monsters, Inc. area over where Muppets is. So they did announce that Monsters, Inc. will be taking over Muppets Courtyard.
Muppet Plaza.
Muppet Plaza. Muppet City.
Muppetopolis.
We sell Muppets and that's all. Okay. So it's sad. Muppet Vision 3D is going to go away. Mama Melrose will go away. Pizza Rizzo. Nobody's fine. You can have Pizza Rizzo.
I'm going to miss the Miss Piggy fountain.
True.
I like the Miss Piggy fountain.
But there's a part 2 to this that we just found out.
Yes, this was not only just the bad news that we are losing Muppets 3D, which we are, we love that. If you've been listening to the show at all, you know how much love we have for the Muppets 3D show. But we also love a good thrill ride. And we have been speculating for a long time that the Muppets would be a perfect fit for Rock and Roller Coaster. And they are actually doing it.
Disney, they're listening.
I cannot wipe the smile off my face for this one. This one just makes my day. So we are going to join Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, and we are going to move right along, and it's going to be amazing.
I know. Can you picture that?
I really can.
I'm sure that's going to be the photo at the end. It will be called Can You Picture That?
Oh, I hope so.
I can't wait to see what they do. Now, here's the other thing. Okay, Disney, if you are listening... The theater that they just built back there.
The Lightning McQueen.
Right, and it's becoming the villain show. I'm sure it's a test show for Magic Kingdom.
Probably.
Which means it's going to leave a whole big theater sitting right there that, hey, that might just fit Muppet Vision 3D.
That would make me so happy.
Just saying. Update it. Bring in new CGI for Waldo, or whatever his name is.
Waldo.
He needs to be upgraded a bit anyway, so just move it across the park.
Move it right along, so to speak.
Move it right along, yeah.
That would be like the best of both worlds, honestly, without the Miley Cyrus implication there.
Yeah.
But that would be so good to have.
Love that.
I can't believe they are actually bringing the Muppets to Rock and Roller Coaster. We've talked about it for so long.
Almost tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, it really is the perfect overlay, though. They already own the IP. The IP is dreadfully underused, underappreciated. This is a perfect situation for them.
And as Disney adults grew up with the Muppets, the Muppet Show, Sesame Street, whatever, it's perfect. It's perfect for our demographic. We are roller coaster lovers. We're Muppet lovers. There you go.
I can't wait.
So the other part of the good news then is Monstropolis is coming to Disney Hollywood Studios. We're going to get the famous door coaster that's been hypothesized and talked about for years. It originally was being talked about for Disney California Adventure, and it is now going to make its debut sometime. We don't have an exact date yet on that.
No.
But it will make its debut along with new shopping, new shows. Basically, if you look at the artist concept drawing, you'll notice that Muppet Vision Theater is still there. So we're thinking a new 3D show, a new show of some kind.
Yeah, are they going to move Laugh Floor over there and open up that space in Tomorrowland?
That'd be great. Then there'd be Tomorrowland with 2 empty buildings on the one on either side.
But they could actually do something with that space.
True. Put in Circle Vision. Hey, oh, wait a minute. No, they tried that.
I mean, anyway. But to have something in Tomorrowland that's actually tomorrow-ish would be
rather
great.
than monsters-ish, yeah. Yeah,
I love that idea.
That'd be a great idea.
Well, and they're talking, we've already seen that they are bringing Harryhausen's as a restaurant, so we're anticipating hopefully a Japanese restaurant, because that's what it is in Monsters, Inc. I'm hoping personally that they don't go too monsterish with this. I love sushi. I don't need to eat sushi with tentacles and eyeballs.
Yes, please no. Please no.
Hoping that they stick a little more to the human side of this. And we're also hoping that there might be a walk-up situation. I personally hope that it is attached to the Harryhausen so that there's a sit-down and a walk-up, or a lounge. Harryhausen's lounge would be amazing. So, I don't know.
Here's my thought. Since Disney brings in outside people to do their restaurants occasionally anyway, Morimoto needs to come in and do Harryhausen's.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be amazing.
Morimoto's is one of our favorites over at Disney Springs. To have a park presence would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome. Well, another land bites the dust. Dino Land, we hardly knew ye. That's because we really didn't like you. It's not you, it's us. No, it's you.
No, it's you.
Yeah, anyway, Dino Land will be closing mostly on 1/12, so January 12th. Dino Land is going to be closing most of the games areas and pretty much everything to the left of the dinosaur attraction.
All the parts of Dino Land that we don't like.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the dinosaur attraction and building is gorgeous. But that's going to be Indiana Jones, which I think is just going to be an easier overlay outside and inside for them to do because the infrastructure's there, rather than the Encanto section, which is going to be a complete wipe and rebuild.
Yes.
So Dino is going to be around for a little longer. We don't have an exact date for closing for the attraction dinosaur, but pretty much everything is going to close in Dino Land starting on January 12th of 2025.
Again, we are not terribly sad about this. We're excited for Tropical Americas, but we know that there are people who Dino Land is near and dear to your heart, and we do sympathize with you. That is very sad to lose something that you love. We are hoping that they just bring the buffalo chicken chips from Trilo Bites into another snack location in the park.
And please, for the love of Walt, please move the Dino Chipmunks somewhere. Chip and Dale in their dinosaur costumes is one of the cutest things at any location at Walt Disney World.
Seriously.
Move them anywhere. Just move them inside the same park. Move them over to studios. We don't care. Keep them around, please.
They're so stinking cute. So yeah, we're hoping they continue to exist somewhere. Please, please, please.
And here's another Disney Are You Listening? Take Triceratops Spin, move it over to Toy Story Land at Disney Hollywood Studio, and call it Trixie's Triceratops Spin.
Disney, are you listening? So that's really all the news that we want to talk about, just because those were two pretty major things that just happened, and we happen to have opinions about them.
Yeah.
And because we've talked about Muppets so often in the past, and here it is finally coming to fruition. So excited.
Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem. I can't believe they're becoming
It's perfect.
It's so perfect.
So let's talk a little bit about this past season. We're closing out season 2. We got a new logo this season, which we love. Thank you so much, Evan. We just absolutely love our new logo.
Remind me, I need to pay you for that.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we did have some highlights that we liked. Rod, what was one of your favorite episodes from this season?
Oh, heavens. I looked through the list just a bit ago, and 4 of them just really stuck out. 2 of them went back to back almost, and were kind of the same thing. It was the episode 52, Disney Inventions.
I had that on my list as well.
Which is just, some of that stuff blew my mind. Some of it I knew, but some of it that we found during the research just incredibly blew my mind. Especially the stuff with the Imagineer that created all of the moving floor. Yeah, Lanny Smoot. I mean, that guy's a genius.
He really is.
The more we found out about him and what he did was just an Imagineering marvel. The other one was episode 57, the Disney Myths and Legends one that we did. That one was really fun.
That was a fun way to do a little April Fool's nod.
Yeah, that was really fun. What about you, sis?
I also had 52, the Disney Inventions. Loved that episode. Loved researching it. Loved doing it. I also have a very special place in my heart for the one that we did as a salute to Disney Pets.
Oh,
which was
that
episode
was a fun
71.
One.
That was right after we lost our little girl, little Kaylee girl, and took a little short episode to address some of our favorite Disney pets over the years, and that was just a really fun one to research. I loved that one. I also loved episode 80, where we took existing Disney attractions and gave them an overlay with a different theme.
That one was fun. That was difficult. That was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
It really
just
was.
Trying to, off the top of your head, come up with something quickly. My favorite one of those, I think, was Mission Space becoming Firefly.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, I have a soft spot in my heart for episode 79 as well, the Sherman Brothers episode.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
After D23. It was it was the only thing that we actually got to sit down and see besides the floor at D23 this year, and it was stunning.
That was really cool.
And of course, got to hand it to Sue. Episode 87, the Choose Your Own Adventure Phantom Manor Halloween episode. That turned out so good. It was so much fun. If you haven't seen that one or heard that one, go back and find it. Episode 87.
That was
so
fun. That was a lot of fun to put together. So we want to know what your favorite episode was this season. Make sure that you put that in the comments. And if you have suggestions for next season, please let us know that too, because we are looking ahead to season 3. Can you believe that?
Yeah, if you've got any ideas, we'd love to hear them. But
Absolutely.
We're starting off season 3 with a bang.
Bang, bang,
And yeah. Now?
Not now. Sorry, little Chippendale moment for
goes
you.
Back to an older episode as well. We're headed to Walt Disney World. I know, big surprise.
So
People
shocking.
that do a Disney podcast are going to Disney World. But we're going for the Festival of the Arts this year, so we'll start off with Best of the Fest. Festival of the Arts.
Absolutely. Can't wait for that. We also get to do something pretty special that we've been wanting to do for a really long time, and we bought ourselves birthday presents.
Because we both have birthdays in January, so happy birthday, sis.
Happy birthday, Rod. We're going to do the Keys to the Kingdom tour, which we've been looking forward to for a very long time.
So we'll have a review for that.
Absolutely. We won't be able to film back there or take pictures backstage, but we'll tell you all about it.
And we have reservations for the new Shiki Sai restaurant at Japan at Epcot, so we'll come back with a review for that as well.
Yes. We're also still promising to do the interview with Andy Hammer, who joined us at Disneyland Paris and completed his worldwide tour of Disney parks. So we'll get that in the can as well. We're also going to do some more Disney Are You Listening episodes, some more This or That episodes, some more ranking episodes, all the usual standard fare, and bring you some more historical content as well for some Epcot stuff.
Because we're Epcotian.
That's
what we do.
Wouldn't you like to be Epcotian too?
You know, it'd be nice if Epcot had a time machine.
Tell me more.
Sue came up with a little game we're going to end off this episode with and end the season with, and it's called Disney Time Machine. Basically, we've picked 3 dates each that we will then explain as to where we would like to take an Epcotian time machine back or forward in time to someplace in Disney history.
Anywhere in Disney history.
And why?
And it could include, I didn't happen to do this, but I should say it could include a future event if you have something in mind for something that we hope to see or have been promised in the future, that we could mention that as well. But I do want to stipulate, much as you see with other time machine storytelling, we can't go back and change history. So we can't go back and say, I want to be at the meeting and talk them out of Superstar Limo.
Yeah, or Dinoland USA. Sorry, Joe Rohde. Yeah, we didn't like it as much as you did. Anywho,
That's okay.
So it's your game, so why don't you start with your first date on the Disney Time Machine?
Okay, I actually wrote down a bunch of these because I have a feeling we're going to have some overlap. So I'm going to start off with my personal number 1 that I would want to be at. And that is going a long way back in Disney history. And I would want to be at the meeting that Walt called of all of his animators, where he acted out the story of Snow White.
Oh my gosh, I've seen some video and stills of that. That would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be incredible? Like I know that's not where it started. Like it all started with a mouse. It all started in Missouri. It all started in Chicago. Like depending on how far back you want to go. But I feel like that's what kicked off the movie studios. Like that was what gave them the inspiration. He acted out the entire story as a one-man show of the story of Snow White so that the animators could get a feel for the story and how it could be told. He didn't give them any context for this. He just brought them into this room and acted out the show. I would have absolutely loved to be there.
And if you listen to our episode 52, Disney Inventions, this is where storyboarding was created.
Yeah.
It's still used to this day by every studio, oh my heavens, everybody that does storytelling uses storyboards.
In any fashion for comic strips and comic strips basically are storyboarding, I guess. But cartoons and movies and books even, like everything uses storyboarding. And yeah, that was kind of the impetus for all of that. And it would be amazing. My
first date, this one's kind of personal. It's June 6th, 1987. That was my first day as a cast member at Disneyland.
Oh.
I'd wanted to be a cast member since I was about 5 years old. My first rememberations. We just saw Wicked, so rememberabilia was at Disneyland watching the Native Americans in Frontierland in what is now Bayou Country, back in the back there, and noticing that they were going to be tearing it down to build Bear Country. That was going to open in 1972, and I looked at my dad and said, but what's going to happen to the Indians? So, yeah, it's a pretty special day for me as my first day as a cast member.
That is pretty cool.
I trained at Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland and couldn't find my way into the building until my trainer, Juanita, came out and found me.
There wasn't a queue?
If you're listening, thank you, Juanita. No, this was before the bridge.
You didn't even join the queue to get in?
Oh. No.
Who's that guy dressed like a pirate? That's a really good one.
So what's your number 2 date?
My number 2 date is, I'm going to say I would love to have gone back to July 17th, 1955, to the opening day of Disneyland, and I would love to be present at Walt Disney's famous opening day speech.
With one of the real tickets, though, not the fake ones.
Yes, exactly. There were many, many people there who were not actually invited. So I would have loved to have been among the invited somehow. And every time I hear the opening of that speech, I tear up.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
Like, it doesn't even matter what the context is. When they use it in fireworks, I'm a disaster.
Oh, that's like during Epcot Forever when you hear Walt say...
Oh my gosh.
We call it Epcot.
It's anytime Walt is talking about his parks, you can feel the pride he has in his voice.
Absolutely. I love that so much. So yeah, that would be my number 2 for sure.
Mine mirrors that. My number 2 is October 1st, 1982, and that's the opening of Epcot Center.
Yes.
But being there for the opening, the only bad part about that is that Imagineration wasn't open yet.
Neither was Horizon.
But Energy was there. Spaceship Earth was there. The Land. World of Motion. Oh my heavens. Those attractions, to this day, the old Epcot is so part of me. That's part of why we call this the Epcotian Adventure. Being that Sue and I went to the opening year of Epcot back in September of 1983, before it was even a year old, and got to see all of the new stuff at that point, which was Horizons and Imagination had just been open for a few months at that point. Oh, I'm sorry, we caught the soft opening of Horizons.
That was so amazing. I actually have that on my list as well. Not opening day, but the early Epcot, so that we could still catch Horizons. Because if you're going to use a time machine to go back to Epcot, you might as well have Horizons there.
Well, and make sure you're there on a day it's open.
So, well, yes, that would be good.
Also very true.
Very good point.
All right, what's your number 3?
My number 3, I have to go through my list now and actually pick one because I wrote down like 8 of these. So I think my number 3, I'm going to go with, I have to stick with my Walt theme because there are a couple of these that aren't Walt involved, but as such a fan of the man himself, I'm going to go with Pirates of the Caribbean. When it was first in development, they did a full-scale model of the ride, and they gave him a ride through Pirates in an office chair and just kind of pushed him along the model as you would be going in a boat so you could see what you would see at the right times. I would have loved to have been there for that because Pirates is my favorite ride. Right. Who pushed that chair? That's a great question. Oh my gosh, who got to do that? So yeah, that would probably be my number 3.
My number 3, this is an obscure one. This would have been opening season 1964 at Disneyland when the new Tomorrowland opened. They called it the World on the Move. And to me, it was the Tomorrowland that we grew up with at Disneyland. It was the opening of the People Mover, Adventure Through Inner Space, Carousel of Progress, and the modern Circle Vision that had been upgraded from Circarama. And so, to me, growing up with the People Mover going in front of the area of Tomorrowland and walking in and seeing Carousel of Progress turning and seeing the rocket jets spinning and the cars and the subs and the monorail literally was a world on the move. Right now, it's just a world that needs fixed. Yeah, at both parks, really. Tomorrowland at both of the parks, really. Magic Kingdom, Disneyland specifically.
And this part wasn't on the move, but I would love to be able to see that beautiful Mary Blair mural that you could see from the monorail or from the People Mover.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things as a kid growing up was that mural.
Rumor is it's still there. That's buried under whatever's on top of it.
Disney, are you listening?
I know.
You need to bring that back. Hello.
Seriously. So I'm just going to run through these real quick because I did write down several. I would have loved to have been at the 64-65 World's Fair with Walt.
Oh my gosh, how did I not think of that? Of course.
I thought that was going to be number 1 on your list. That's why I skipped it.
We were in New York on the Grand Central Parkway just a little bit ago and went past the World's Fair site.
It was pretty cool.
And saw the globe and the towers that you see in the at Universal Orlando from Men in Black. But from the 64-65 World's Fair. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I would have loved to have been on the train when Lillian said, let's call him Mickey. How cool would that have been?
Like maybe she saw a kid or heard somebody say, Mickey, don't do that. Get down from there. Hey.
I just love that. So those were my... and one other one. This one is not Walt related at all, but I would have loved to have been in the studio and witness Phil Harris and Louis Prima singing I Want to Be Like You.
I concur.
Big Phil Harris fan. Yeah. That would just be incredible. So those are ours. We want to know what yours are. Let us know what your Disney Time Machine moment would be. If you have any for the future that you would love to be at, I'd love to hear those. I tried to think of a couple, but couldn't come up with any that were like pressing or promised enough to set a time machine to go there. So we want to know what yours are.
Well, folks, that is the end of Season 2 for the Epcotian Adventure. We'll be back on January 27th. We're going to still be releasing weekly on Mondays at 12:01 a.m. like we've been doing for the last 2 seasons. But right after we get back from the Walt Disney World Resort for the new Epcot Festival, that's going to be the start of Season 3.
So fun. I can't wait. I'm excited. I am actually a little sad that we're not going to be recording for a couple of weeks. But, the holidays are upon us. We've got a bunch of family stuff coming up. Excited for that as well. I hope you all have very wonderful, blessed holidays and that you have some great time, either downtime when you can take a breath and regroup for next year, or some fun and excitement, whichever way you lean. We hope that for you.
Before we go, we'd like to give a big thank you to our theme music composer, Jason Patrick Rowan, whose music is licensed through Pond 5. And of course, thank you, Phoenicians.
Thank you, Phoenicians. And don't forget to rate, review, like, share, and subscribe. It really does help other people find us. This would be amazing if you could take time to do this for us during the holidays and boost our visibility. That would be amazing.
Please.
You can find us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts.
The Epcotian Adventure is a $1,000 brunch production and a proud gold member of D23. Thanks for joining us for Season 2 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And we'll see you in January.
Bye. Happy holidays.